Okay, very good. I want to stand in front of our panelists. Good evening, I'm Scott Rigell. What a privilege it is to welcome you tonight. Just delighted to be here, delighted to be with each of you. This is an important and really a critical topic, I think, for us. The Chesapeake Bay is a national treasure. My wife, Carrie, is here, and in kind of a past life, when things weren't quite so fast-paced, we really have enjoyed just going across and through and around the Chesapeake Bay, the Nantucket, Tangier. At one point, we ended up in St. Michael's. Many of you, I'm sure, have been there. And the Chesapeake Bay Museum is there in St. Michael's. And Terry, I don't know how many times I've been through that. Every time I just would go through it and through it and through it because I learned so much. This was years ago about what a special place the Chesapeake Bay is. When you say it's a unique body of water, it truly is. There's not another like it in the world. I love history and reading the accounts of journals of Captain John Smith. What he saw and experienced when he first came to America. Now, of course, he was only discovering what the Native Americans already knew. He said the Bay is a very special place, and he was able to see, and he described how he could see clear to the bottom, 30 feet of water, and he described the size of the oysters, I think 8 to 10 inches long. Oysters right in Langhorne, what we now call Broad Bay. So we are committed, I'm personally committed, to ensuring that we meet that deep, really a deep moral obligation that we have for our children and the next generation of Americans to give them clean air, clean water, clean soil. And as part of that, it certainly includes this wonderful treasure that we now call Chesapeake Bay. TMDLs are not without controversy, and certainly we need to head in the right direction on that important topic. And I believe in, as I seek to make wise and sound decisions for the district, with this voting card that you've given me the privilege to bring to Washington, to express the best judgment I have on the matters that are before our country. I believe in seeking out and getting the right advice and counsel from people that I respect in the subject matter. To sum it up this way, that in abundance of counselors, there's wisdom. Now, of course, that presumes that you get the right people to seek advice and counsel from. So here in just a few moments, I'm going to introduce the Chesapeake Bay Advisory Committee, that committee that was formed very early on after I entered this time of public service. And I'm just going to walk through who the members are, and I'll also introduce our panelists. Now, noticeably absent are 3. That's because we have some transportation problems in Hampton Roads, but we're not going to cover that tonight. All right, this train's about to pull out. I'm just delighted that each and every one of you are here. Let me just read this quote. This quote has been on my wall in my office for many years, and I just thought it captured how special the Chesapeake Bay is. This was written by Captain Smith. It's certainly attributed to him, and let's for tonight just really believe it was written by him. Heaven and earth have never agreed better to frame a place for man's habitation, referring to the Chesapeake Bay. He also wrote this, and just give me a moment here while we somewhat stalled, just for a moment. He also wrote this. His journals are really amazing, and I'm just going to read it as he wrote it. So English is a little odd. A few beavers, otters, bears, martens, and minks we found, and in divers places that abundance of fish, lying so thick with their heads above the water as for want of nets, we attempted to catch them with a frying pan. But we found it a bad instrument to catch fish with. Neither better fish, more plenty, nor more variety for small fish had any of us ever seen in any place so swimming in the water, but they are not to be caught with frying pans. This is Captain Smith's observations, and we know with certainty that the condition of the bay today is nowhere near it was when the Native Americans just fly across the water and Captain Smith made his journeys, of course, up the James River and all throughout the bay. And that's the goal that I seek to advance. I think we all do. And we're going to have an interesting and I think thoughtful and helpful discussion tonight. I do start out with this assumption, and that is that we are headed to the same place. And whether we're talking about the Chesapeake Bay or any of the other profound challenges facing our country, I think it's so important, and I've been so encouraged by what I've seen across the 2nd District, just a degree of stability in our debate. Now, it doesn't mean that there's not spirited debate. It doesn't mean we may have some differences along the way, one with another. That's normal, that's expected. It's always been part of our republic. But we can and we are, I think, moving this forward in a very civil way, and I just am so appreciative of that. Now, I mentioned that I get good counsel from our board members, and this is going to take me just a minute to read, because there are 20 members, but it's worth this because I want to thank them personally and recognize their service. And I see one of my co-chairs right here to my left is Marina Phillips. She's the Environmental and Natural Resource Attorney for Coughlin and Knowles. She's a partner there. And just hold applause, but I would like y'all to applaud at the very end because they're working hard for the day. Christy Everett, the director of the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. Did I say Christy yet? Not yet. No, she's the co-chair. And then Andy Bond, environmental advocate. Bill Jenkins, a commercial and charter fishing representative. He chairs the Aquatic Resources Committee. Andy, I should have mentioned, chairs the Water Quality Committee. Senator Jeff Waters, state senator from Virginia here. Mayor James Eskridge, Mayor Tangier, Mayor Booker, the fine, hardworking man he is, and of course Mayor Molly Ward has become a good friend over these last 14, 15 months. Really enjoyed working with Mayor Ward of Hampton, and Chris Moore, Hampton Roads scientist, and just was also part of working with and for the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. Good friend Hap Challenge is here. I saw Hap. He's a partner with the Lynnhaven Oyster Company and board member of Lynnhaven River Now. Mike said that his son has a vibrant and growing business harvesting oysters in the Lynnhaven, which that is a wonderful success story. 1,500 acres has been opened up. It was closed for, gosh, how many years? 50-something? A lot. A long, long time. It's just recently been opened. That's very exciting. Tara is here. Tara Duff. She's the Chesapeake Bay Group Sierra Club Chair and Director of Tara Escapes Environmental. Nelson Haddock, Adcock Rider, good friend. Nelson. CEO of Environmental Resources Consulting Firm. Ted Hennepin, General Manager of Hampton Roads Sanitation District. Charles Hall, an MSA hydrogeologist. Clay Burnick, City of Virginia Beach Environmental and Sustainability Manager. Jared Brandwine, Back Bay National Wildlife Refuge Manager. Denise Thompson, City of Norfolk, Protection Program Manager. And Go Green Virginia Associate. Mike Pearson, President, East Coast Shellfish Growers Association. David Lovell, Old Mill Farms, Eastern Shore Poultry Farmer. Gary Odell, Gary Odell, Vice President of Cousins, Inc. He's an EPA-regulated farm. Lee Rosenberg, City of Norfolk Environmental Services Manager. Pete Marquez, Environmental Manager of Envirocon, Inc. He's a remediation specialist. And Nathaniel Ferguson. He works with us in the congressional office. He's right here. Thank you for coming down, Nathaniel. And he heads up and really keeps me, dialed in on the bay. And then Shannon Kendrick. She's just a wonderful district director. I'm so proud of Shannon. And she organized all of this tonight. Thank you, Shannon. And then my lovely wife of about 31 years, Carrie. She also serves on the board and is interested in moving forward these important topics. So if you would kindly give those folks, they do this. Now this is not a show board. This is a working board. They are when they meet, they start on time, and good quality work product comes from this board, and they have my full attention, and I appreciate their investment and just helping me to serve, do the best job I can possibly do representing the district. Now, I'm going to introduce the, we've got, we're growing. growing right here. So let me just walk through here. Now, John Carlock is with the Hampton Roads Planning District. John, thank you for being here. He's on a commission, Deputy Executive Director. Thank you for being here. Ted, thank you for being here. Ted is the Hampton Roads Sanitation District General Manager, also serves on the advisory board. We're growing already. Anthony Moore, Mr. Moore, thank you for being here. He's the Deputy Secretary of Natural Resources for Chesapeake Bay Restoration. Thank you so much. And Jeff Corbin, who is not yet here, is with the EPA, and he is a senior advisor on the EPA. I've met with Jeff on several occasions, and we've had some very thoughtful discussions on these matters. And finally, Dr. Carl Kirshner is expected to be here, and he's with the Virginia Institute of Marine Science and Director of the Center for Coastal Resources Management. Thank you for being patient as we walk through all of that. And would you kindly welcome our guest panel? And one other administrative matter that I'm just delighted to move forward, and that's the recognition of some other, they probably wouldn't call themselves VIPs, but let's do that for them. Just folks who are public officials and are serving. Patrick Sawyer, my friend Patrick, where are you, sir? Patrick, thank you. He's with the Virginia Beach School Board. Thank you for being here. Richard Tuckbo, he's the president of Kerry Peterson Companies. He's here. Let's see. Joe Rieger. Joe, where are you, sir? He's the director of the Watershed Restoration Elizabeth River Project. Got a diverse group represented here. And then Ann Jennings. Ann is with the state. She is the state director of the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. So thank you to the other VIPs that are here as well. Now, the way we thought we'd best move this forward is to have a thoughtful discussion about the proper role of managing TMDLs, improving water quality in the Chesapeake Bay. So we thought it'd be best, since we have the experts here, to give each one of our panelists 5 minutes to walk through their perspective on TMDLs, and then after each panelist makes their opening remarks, then we would move into a question and answer time. And we have 2 of our fine folks here on board. Their only purpose here is not to filter a tough question. We all need to be ready to answer tough questions, but it's just to make sure that we get a diverse range of questions asked of our panelists, and I'd be happy to answer questions as well. So why don't we start out, Ted, with you, sir, and if you would just begin, and out of respect for everyone's time, Shannon, are you going to have a little timer? Oh, there we go. Okay, welcome to my world where you are. Okay. A few minutes of talking and somebody hits the gun. Ted.
Well, great, thank you very much. Some of you may be sitting there wondering why I've been asked as HRSD to participate in a panel about cleaning up the bay, because many of you are scratching your heads saying, well, aren't you the problem? But I think a little history will put it in perspective for you, and you can understand a little bit about where we're going with the TMDL from Hampton Roads Sanitation District. We've been in the business of protecting public health from the Hampton Roads waterways for some time. We were formed in 1940 in response to closing of shellfish beds. It's interesting we talk about Linear River, but Hampton Roads shellfish beds were vibrant and thriving in 1925 when the health department condemned them. And we were dumping 30 million gallons of raw sewage a day into Hampton Roads at that point in time. But yet, Old Dominion doesn't move too fast, and it took until 1940 to get on the ballot for public referendum to form the sanitation district. And we were formed by public referendum, which, when you think about how challenging it is to get the public behind any particular cause today, it wasn't much different in 1940. It was a very challenging referendum, but it did create a unique political subdivision to deal with cleaning up the Hampton Roads. And so we like to think of ourselves as the grassroots and water quality environmentalists in Hampton Roads, because we've been at it for some time. We're proud of our permit compliance record. We actually have one treatment plant that's got the longest consecutive number of years, 25 years of perfect permit compliance. We operate 14 plants, and they're all really well operated. We serve 1.6 million people, which is roughly